My BF, 34 meters, and I, 26F, have been together for 3 years and live together. It's become pretty clear to me in the last year, probably longer, that he has anger issues and not very much control over his reactions. He has yelled at me outside our apartment, in the grocery store, and in front of friends and family. Most often he's calling me a child and telling me to grow up, or just starts saying that he wishes we could work as a team, while refusing to give me any space to talk or pause the conversation. I'm an only child. I really like me time, and I can be avoidant and dismissive sometimes. I like to have a lot of space, so when we fight, I try to do whatever I can to exit the situation, so that I can regain some energy and come back when we are both more clear-headed. But he follows me and will keep yelling, even if I communicate that I need space, or that I'm going for a walk, or if I close a door on him, or if I call a friend. It doesn't matter, he keeps going. If he doesn't respect my space, I'll yell back and curse him out, like he does to me, which sometimes gets him to stop. But I hate getting to that point since yelling is just not in my nature, and I hate doing it, and I feel like I have to yell just to get any space to myself, and admittedly also to not appear weak when we are in public and he's yelling. He is very aware of this and knows that he gets too worked up and that his behavior is unacceptable. He thinks he just raises his voice and doesn't yell. Whatever. I've been asking him to seek therapy for months now, and he's consistently told me basically I don't feel comfortable with that. I really don't like letting other people in, but I know I have work to do on myself, so I'll try to work on my issues in other ways. His alternative solution was to go outside more and do more for himself, which just wasn't the same in my book, but I'll let it be. I've been in therapy and on meds during our whole relationship, so it felt unfair that he wouldn't also try and work on himself when the relationship was so clearly toxic. But I thought maybe he knows what's best for himself. Finally, a couple weeks ago, it happened yet again. We started bickering. He started raising his voice, and soon we were in an argument. I started crying and tried to go to our bedroom and shut the door, but he opened it and started yelling. I told him I needed space and shut the door again, and he yelled at me from outside the door. I tried to go on a walk and he yelled at me from inside the apartment as I was walking away outside, and then started texting and calling me once I was out of yelling range. I came back because I was crying too much to feel comfortable outside, shut the door to the bedroom, and tried to call my dad. He came into the room, saw that I was on my phone, shut the door, and yelled outside the door about why can't you talk to me? Why is this relationship so ed. He was loud enough that my dad heard him yelling and got super pissed at him and wanted to come pick me up. It was an awful situation. In the morning, I gave my partner an ultimatum. Either he would get therapy or I was done. I told him he was verbally abusing me and not respecting my boundaries at all. He agreed with everything, was super apologetic as he is after these fights calmed down, and agreed to start seeking therapy immediately. He has been proactive about seeking therapists ever since, and has reported his progress to me every few days, but it is taking a while, because he can't find any that are available within the month. Well, this morning, nothing was wrong, but I was upset at myself for being late for work. I was rushing. He was in the kitchen washing dishes and asked for a kiss. I said okay, and he started taking his time drying his hands. I said babe, I'm late for work, which was a little blunt, but that did it. He started yelling. I said if you want to talk to me, you can do so over text, but you heard me, and you know I have to leave, so bye and I hope you have a good day. I then shut the door and walked outside. Outside, he continued yelling at me from the apartment. At work, I've been texting my best friend and planning the breakup. This is all way too stressful and never how I wanted to be treated in a relationship. I grew up with parents who yell, so it's familiar, which is maybe why we've lasted for as long as we have, but it's miserable and I don't think I deserve it. The reason I feel kinda bad is because he's actively working to seek therapy to save a relationship, and even today he's been texting me to let me know about some group therapy sessions he might participate in while he's waiting for his first appointment with an individual therapist. I can see that he wants to change, but it's too much for me to handle, and I literally feel like this issue is ruining my life. TL. Doctor thinking about breaking up with partner who yells, but is aware of his anger issues, and is actively seeking therapy. I wouldn't stay with him. Just because he's getting therapy doesn't mean it's healthy for you to be there while he does it, and if he's still acting out, even after promising to do better, then he's blown his last chance. Yeah, I agree. Continuing to yell after I gave him an ultimatum really did seem like the obvious last chance that he had, and he blew it. He texted me today saying basically, I don't know how you expect me to change when I haven't been able to get the help I need yet, and that just made me even more frustrated that he would be blaming the lack of therapy for his actions now, after being so resistant to therapy for so long, and thinking that he could just change and learn to stop yelling by himself. Thanks everyone. I just called and broke up with him. He begged me profusely to stay and told me he wanted to fight for me and that he might kill himself. So, I think ultimately I made the right decision. I'm going to pack up some of my things after I get home from work and will be staying with family for the time being. He will probably be at home and want to talk to me, but my dad and my uncle will be right outside when in case anything gets too crazy. I don't think he would ever physically hurt me as he's never come close to doing so, but I know this is an extreme situation too. If you feel like it, have them go ahead and come on in with you and stay close. It's okay for Yelly BF to see that his volatile behavior makes people bring backup and not feel safe around him. He won't like it, no, but you didn't cause this situation and his feelings and reactions are his to manage. You just manage your safety. Great decision making to peace out. Good for you. So this is a man who is screaming at you as you walk away. He's embarrassing you in public and in front of friends and family by screaming at you. He calls *YOU a child when he actively got into a relationship with a woman 8 years his junior. Therapy as an ultimatum never works. Therapy only works when the person seeking it wants to be there. He's not trying to save the relationship with therapy. He's trying to shut you up and guilt you into staying with him. This is a reason to break up, but I think it's important for you to understand that you are not beholden to him or anyone else. You can end a relationship any moment you want, for any reason you want, or for no reason at all. You didn't sign a legally binding contract to be his punching bag. You are free to go. Yeah, I've said that to him too, like don't call me a child when you chose to date me, knowing full well that I'm nearly a decade younger than you. Can he control his anger in other situations? Work/friends/ the rest of his life? Situations where there are consequences for not controlling it? If yes is the answer to any of those scenarios, he hasn't got anger management problems. He's got I feel entitled to abuse my girlfriend issues. Regardless, his mental health or lack thereof is not your problem. Have a friend with you when you tell him. Not really, lol. He doesn't feel comfortable around people just generally, and I think that's a big part of why he's lost a lot of friendships, because people have called him mean. Break up. He's only looking for therapy at this point, not actively engaging. Since his anger is bad, I'd have someone W me for the breakup, move out, good luck and be safe. Really? He's never even gotten close to being physically abusive, and we have almost gotten to the point of breaking up several times. But IDK, I'm not an expert in this stuff. If you're such an immature child, then why is he with you? Why does he want you to stay? Riddle me that. You have a whole long life ahead of you. Leave his abusive $$ and move on. I highly recommend getting some help for yourself, so you don't find yourself repeating this pattern in the future. Also, babe, I'm late for work is a neutral statement of fact. If he freaked out over that, it's pretty clear he is looking for any reason to get to yell at you, or non-reason. Thank you, that riddle helps. Your partner is abusive, and you should leave the relationship. If he's able to work on his anger issues in therapy, great, but you don't need to stick around to see if he gets better, which it may not, and it may take years and be a constant battle for him. You deserve to be with someone who respects your boundaries, doesn't yell at you, and verbally abuse you, and generally treats you with love. It's not him. Thanks. Yeah, I don't have the patience for it. It would be one kind of toxic if we both yelled at each other. But it takes so much for me to start yelling or to say anything mean, and it's usually just because I need space and I'm not getting it. He gets set off and starts yelling unpredictably, and it's getting to be way more common over time. I grew up with parents who yelled at me all the time, so I can't afford to keep getting re-triggered. You can break up with anyone at any time for any reason. Just because he's going to therapy doesn't mean he's going to change. And you don't owe him a relationship just because he's trying to get help. So if you don't want to be in a relationship with his anger issues, you should probably break up with them. You're just going to get resentful, and it could easily devolve into something more toxic. All excellent points. Staying just wastes more time and energy hoping he'll change. Op might get lucky and really get him to a dramatically better place only to have him leave and be a better partner for someone else. Men often don't want to stay with someone who has seen them at their lowest/weakest. They want someone who adores/idolizes them, having never seen the angry yeller. Op, your own mental health is suffering every time you have another altercation with him. Those stress chemicals flood your body and cause real damage. Don't give him another minute. When you want bread, you generally don't buy dough. How do I like that? Oh yeah, get the heck out of there. Even if he completely turns his behavior around, it's going to take a lot of time. You don't need to get verbally abused until he does. Also, given that he only started making a real effort when he saw you were about to leave, I doubt the change is going to be permanent. If you stick around, you'll most likely see better behavior for a few months until he feels comfortable that you're settled back in. Things he might do. Break up. Well, for what it's worth, I would dumped him a long time ago. I think it's too little too late, and therapy is not magic. You have to work, you have to do your homework. Is there any guarantee he will do any of the things that are suggested to him in therapy? No, I really think there's not, based on what you've described here. I always call resentment the great relationship killer, and it sounds like you two both have your share for each other. I would want a break at least. Where are you? Looking for a therapist isn't even remotely the same thing as seeing a therapist, and even if your abusive boyfriend was seeing a therapist, you would still be within your right to leave him. Please get out. This sounds like a waking nightmare. It could take your BF literally any amount of time to find a therapist, assuming he's looking in good faith, which I sincerely doubt. Would you stick around if you knew it could take years for him to get help and he'd abuse you the whole time? I've been in this position. I was 24 and he was 33, and I would say from experience, it doesn't get better and you should really leave. He doesn't respect you if he treats you like this. I agree that breaking up is probably best for you. Maybe he'll fix himself and you guys can try again when he's better, but don't bank on it. It took me telling my spouse I would divorce him if he didn't fix his anger problem. He was similar to your guy, saying he didn't want to open up and that he'd try all this bullshit, not scientifically proven ideas he had for himself. I said fine, you do you, but if you're not going to try what's considered effective, then that tells me everything I need to know about your level of effort. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay TBH, but it's far more complex than your situation. Protect yourself and protect your life. Appreciate the memories you have had with him, but you need to move on for his sake and your sanity. I did read all of your post, but you need to understand that ultimately none of that detail is relevant. If, for any reason at all, you no longer want to be in a relationship with someone, then you don't need a reason or an excuse to end the relationship. It really is that simple. The bottom line is that for a relationship to exist, it needs the consent of both parties. One person cannot unilaterally decide that a relationship will continue. It just doesn't work like that. If you're not happy and not prepared to give them any more chances, just walk away. *complicate poly stuff aside. Ugh. I felt red just reading that. Please get out of there. Just get your stuff and go. Invite a couple of family or friends and have them help you pack your stuff up and go. That person sounds like they need years of therapy and a strong will to change to even get to baseline acceptable behavior. calling you a child when you sound like you're the 34-year-old and he sounds like an adolescent boy. That S asterisk 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 is so toxic. Run. I'm guessing it's only gotten worse as you've gone from a 23-year-old to a 26-year-old that has discovered and voiced new boundaries and ideas about your relationship. He's probably angry at the fact that you are not giving him total control over the relationship. There is no reason you need to stay and babysit him through figuring out his bullshit. If anything, maybe the most helpful thing you can do is to leave, and he'll have to face the fact that his behavior has cost you both a relationship. This is what he appears to be to me. Every time he lost his temper and yelled for the smallest of reason, then you left the location/situation, either by going to your parents or going to work, etc. Suddenly, later on, you'll receive updates on how his search for therapy is going. Then from feeling resolved to end this relationship, you'll falter. So far, the MO that I notice. Now he is going to just blame his behavior from not yet going to therapy, which is a great tactic on his part to get you to stay longer in a situation you don't want to be in. You have your own therapist, you're going consistently, taking your medicine. He shouldn't have waited 4 years for this to fester. I sincerely think that he's using the whole looking for therapy as a way to keep you around. Of course, what's going to happen is, you will get sick of being mistreated and leave. Then, only then, he would text you with, "Oh, I'm in therapy now." Man, you gotta strengthen your resolve, Opus. There's a thing called too little, too late. The truth is you don't know how long it will take for him to find a therapist he clicks with, or whether he'll put good faith effort in. It can take months to see any effects of it, and in the meantime he's going to continually blow up at you. If you do decide to stick around, be very attentive of what he brings home about therapy. A friend of mine's ex went to therapy and tried to convince her that my therapist says you're the problem. If you're thinking about wanting to leave, just do it. Most of the time, abuse sufferers give the abusers more time than they should and give more allowances than they should. You deserve to feel secure and safe. Additionally, it's going to take some time for him to work on this with a lot of forward and backwards process, even if he was fully invested. Finally, even if he became everything you wanted, there may be resentment or a lack of trust on your end for how long this took. Girl, I'd drop him. Like F that mess. Bad enough you do it in private, but you have zero respect for privacy. No man. It's a dub for me. I've been with the same kind of guy. They never change, all they do is saying therapy yada yada yada, but acts never follow. It's been 3 years already. You should recognize this as a lost cause. Even if he was truly trying, it would take years of therapy to get rid of this verbally abusive behavior. He basically just feel that you are emotionally leaving this relationship, so he seeks therapy to keep you around, not because he cares about your feeling. He perfectly knows that no women his age would endure his behavior. I bet he is scares have to be alone. Break up. He isn't going to therapy for the right reason. He is making a last-ditch effort to maintain control of you, not honestly admitting to you and himself that he is the problem. His actions, repeatedly yelling at you and disrespecting your boundaries, contradict his words that he is sorry and will work on it. People who tell you they are going to change over and over and over but never make a real effort to do so are lost causes. Get out now. You are miserable, and you do not deserve to be treated like that. To put it bluntly, this man will never stop yelling at you, and you should leave no matter what. His behavior is extremely concerning. He did not start going to therapy because he wanted to, only after you gave him an ultimatum, meaning that he doesn't necessarily want to get better about it. For your mental health, and honestly for your own physical safety, I would have friends or family join as you grab all of your things and separate. Good for you to break up with him. I can't believe him asking for affection led him to verbally abusing you, like he's done in the past. A normal person would be like, okay honey, have a great day at work, and blow an air kiss or something. I would be wary of him trying to win you back, or escalating to worse than verbal abuse. Block him on everything, and watch your back. Therapy doesn't guarantee he will get better or magical fix him because he still has to change himself mentally, and no amount of words from someone else's advice will help him until he can actually help himself and change within. He has to put in the hard work to change. Therapy can be a long, everlasting road to self-healing as well. Someone can be in therapy for years and years. He sounds a lot like an ex I had. To yell at you in public and cause a scene is absolutely uncalled for. To break boundaries of following you around when you want some space to collect yourself is unacceptable of him. I do not think you should stay in this relationship and sounds absolutely miserable. I became depressed and miserable with my ex because he had severe mental health issues and was dragging me down, and he never thought he'd change, even though he was in therapy and went to rehabs and retreats before we had met. I couldn't take it anymore, and I'm much more happy in my new-ish relationship with my boyfriend, who has a calm and understanding personality. Makes a world's difference who you are with. They can make your life awesome or a living hell. Literally. Asterisk. Too little, too late. That's what this is. And chances are he's seeking therapy for anger issues, not to address the fact that he is an abuser. So therapy isn't going to work. Because abusers don't really have trouble controlling their anger. They focus it all on their partner. Chances are he isn't screaming at his boss or coworkers or friends because he can control it. He just has the abuser's sense of entitlement that he can treat you this way. Abusers who seek therapy for anger and not the real issue, a misplaced sense of entitlement, don't change. Because they are pretending their issue is lack of control when it's anything but. You can see he wants to change. The problem is, he only wanted to change once you made it clear you're done. Where was his respect for you before then? Why does he only want to respect you if it means he doesn't have to face consequences? I'd be gone. He may want to change, but he's not going to